Hey, look at this guy. Fucking been on holiday, dieted, got a tan, totally disappeared off YouTube for 3 weeks. And he comes on here with his tits out straight away, why not? So, yes YouTube, we're back. And as I've just said, it's been a few weeks. The last episode was episode 4 of the JackedDad series. So this makes it episode 5 of the JackedDad series. I'm just checking that because I've got this wrong multiple times. Got my laptop open. It is episode 5 of the JackedDad series, and we're going to go through the Minicut. Right now, it's 12th of April. I started dieting 3 weeks before our holiday. We went away on 1st of April. So we got back a couple of days ago. Hence, right now, while I've got my tits out, cupboard doors open, and I'm like in the middle of putting stuff away, getting sorted, getting right back into the swing of things. I've done this just so that you can kind of have an up-to-date, easy update without me having to take photos, because me and Max are going into town to meet my mum and dad, having not seen them for a couple of weeks. So yeah, this is where I'm at. Physique-wise, flexy flex, boom, 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 boom. I am very, very content and happy with myself. So within this episode, what I'm going to do is show you some of my fake football shirts that we got in Tenerife. Absolute bangers. I've reached an age I've realised, you know, when you're younger and your dad would be like, just get this fucking training kit for footy or for rugby. It's shit, it's unbranded, it looks like, I don't know, you've got it out at Lost Property bin from school, but it's just for training. And you'd be like, absolutely no way, Dad. I'm not wearing anything like that. Well, I've reached an age now where I wouldn't have worn fake tops when I was younger. But I've reached an age now where I'm like, 1, these fakes are good. 2, don't give a fuck. But these fakes are good. Look at this bad boy. Fake Japan. I do believe the Japan away shirt is very similar to this, but this has fella out a one piece in. Now, I'm not really big into my anime. I am not into anime. Let's say that. Max is though, and so is Layla. So that's how I knew this guy were out of one piece. But I liked it. Cool shirt. Did a solid job of packing, haven't I? It's only a mess because I've done shit like this. Let's find some of these other... Where are they? Here we go. Right, this is absolute schneid. The shirts that don't really exist, but this... Brazil. Pretty fucking cool, innit? I'm going to wear this one out at house today, so I'm going to put it on now. Fresh, label off. Got this Brazil one. And to be honest, I've had my eye on this for a while. When this is actually a shirt, a real life kind of setup. I'm not sure how true to form it actually is. Where I've got a feeling that see the like sublimated lines on it, stripes down. I have a feeling that they're actually wider on original. I don't fucking care though. Like I said, I think you reach an age, don't you, where like, it costs like 20 quid. It looks decent. Like, started to buy my tees, my footy shirts a little bit oversized. This is a bit small, but that one's quite oversized, and I like that. Gonna do my hair, actually get Max ready to go out for the day. And within all of that, I'm gonna tell you what happened over my 3-week mini cut that got my abs out for our holiday, in and around dad life. And I'll let you know how many pounds I lost and shit like that. Because you know what? It'll help you too. You're on.
Yeah.
Jump. Did we do lots of fun things?
Yeah.
Apart from. Wait, what happened on holiday?
We were sick.
We were all sick. Great time. We took it in turns. Each one of us across 10 days was sick. Right, so time frame and why? Why diet for 3 weeks when you're in the middle of a building phase? Tell you why. Because I want you to look a little bit better to go on holiday.
Put the phone down.
Goal number 1 was to go on holiday, look a little bit better, feel a bit better about myself, be able to get out there, whip top off and be like, yeah, do you know what? I properly feel myself. Let me do this a little bit, watch out. So I'd spent from the end of May up until the start of March slapping some bit fun, and I'd taken my weight up 15 pounds. Very steady, progressively improving my training, getting stronger, hitting some PBs. That's generally the way that we're going to make sure that we're driving muscle building, right? It's not shocking and confusing. None of that shit. Very similar programming from month 1 all the way through to what were it, month 8? and I built my bench up to almost taking off 50 kilo dumbbells in each arm. My pull downs up to 75 per side on plate loaded. So I had a few marker lifts that I wanted to improve. But then it was time to strip it right back, pull a few pounds off, very short term, to then be able to come back now in better condition, having been on holiday and felt better about myself, to then go for it and to add a little bit more muscle before a photo shoot, which again, it's going to be the next part of this series, to start a photo shoot prep in another few months' time, but we've got a little bit more muscle to build now. I think it'll take like 3 to 5 minutes, won't it?
3 to 5.
It will. I think that's a solid time frame for it.
What's tea doing, mate?
Okay, I'll come with you.
Okay.
Just get a quick meal in as well before we go into town to meet my mum and dad. So there's roughly 175 grams of lean turkey mince there, some kidney beans and some other bits within it, and then some seasonal veggies over here that's actually straight from a pack. I'm lazy with my cooking, mate. You'll know this if you've followed me for a little while now. I don't like chopping stuff up. I can't be arsed. It's more barriers to do it. So this were already chopped, came with the seasoning. You just kind of put it in oven and let it cook in 40 minutes. And then I've split that over 2 meals. Very simple. But then the beauty of this is that I have some turkey mince, which were actually gems, but she's been poorly and said you might as well eat it. Turkey mince cooked, ready to eat. Veggies cooked, ready to eat. Just put them both together, eat them up if I fancy it. I'm also used to eating meals cold though, because years of clean eating and meal plans and that being the thing. Don't use a microwave. Okay, bro. Mate, use a microwave. But I'm used to eating my meals cold now because old me used to be shit scared of a microwave. So like today, because I can't be asked heating it through, I'm eating it cold. Now to get there, I used framework that I use in my free 4-week plan for dads, just like you, just like me, who want to get lean and shredded whilst feeling strong and feeling fit and healthy. Plug. If you want it, the link is below this video in the description. But from a diet perspective, very simply, keep my protein high, and I actually push to keep my calories as low as possible. This is the only difference between my free plan, Dad Rig 2.0, and the way I've approached this. So you've got to think that as much as I'm putting my money where my mouth is and proving to you that these methods work, irrespective of whether you're a dad or whether you're busy, whether you're busy or whatever, I also have a very specific outcome for this. I also have years worth of experience to kind of build on. So I know that I want to get in and out of the diet. This was literally just for 3 weeks. Never planned on taking it any further. I know where my calories have been in past. I know how to satisfy myself. I know how to, not like that, but yes, I also know how to satisfy myself, clearly. That were a mucky one. I know how to fill my belly, and how to keep my energy levels high. I know how to knuckle down and get hard shit done when it comes to it. So I almost just plugged and played past experience. The way I approach my diet will keep my protein high. I went for over 1 gram of protein per pound of what I weighed at the time. I went between 200 and 225 grams of protein. It's quite a wide range, but even the 200 grams is on the high end. I'd go towards the 225 if I were a little bit hungrier. And my calories, simple as this, eat as little as I possibly could each day. It ended up that I fell between 1300, some days hit 1150, up to 1700, knowing that both of those are quite a hefty deficit to begin with. And I'd have 1 high day a week up to 2,500 calories, so sitting at a rough maintenance for that day. Reason I like that high day is that 1, going quite hard like this, it's demanding in and around family life. I enjoy having a pizza with Max. I enjoy eating on go here or there. So it gave me 1 day where I had a little bit more freedom. So that then helps from a motivation standpoint, it can help with an energy standpoint, it can help from a recovery standpoint. And when you think about how that diet had to look for me, ordinarily you'll see me like including a Greggs more often than not, having something from Mackey's, enjoying like whole eggs or a little bit of cheese on food. I had to make a few smart shifts, so my protein sources had to be a little bit leaner. I'd eat a lot less on the go because those tended to be higher calorie options with lower protein, and that didn't work when I'm trying to eat as little as I possibly could. Now these are all things that if if you're watching this and you're starting a diet, you might not start at this point. You might not start having to be a hell of a lot more conscientious with your calorie and protein targets and where you eat your foods from. But you probably do want to be doing it in some respect, because if not, you will not stick to your calorie targets every single day like you need to, and your protein targets every single day like you need to. Okay, you have flexibility with the foods you can consume, with the meal timings, but you don't have flexibility with how many calories you eat per day, unless maybe you're doing it like me and you're aiming to eat as little as you possibly could. And you've got a little bit of wiggle room above it. Most people shouldn't be doing that. I'd argue that that's something that probably comes after a few years worth of decent dieting, or it comes with the support of somebody who can guide you through that and help you make it all work. So I'd immediately I'd swap out my whole eggs and I'd have more egg whites. I'd level up my veggie and my salad intake because that's low in calorie and it fills more room in your belly. I swapped beef mince for turkey mince because it were a little bit lower in fat and higher in protein. Right, you can see that all of these things come in that make it all feel a little bit more manageable to eat a lot less calories. Water intake pushed up, diet pop intake pushed up. Yeah, diet pop's not a bad thing. It's a sweet little drink that can also fill a little space in your belly because it's carbonated, that can help you get from meal to meal and feel more satisfied, particularly when you're on lower calories. And then the high day, it wasn't even wild, to be fair. It would be sharing half a pizza from Tesco with Max. Okay, we step away from this being a bit of a cheap focus. So everything moved bit by bit, week on week, because everything had a target, a focus, and was teed up to fill me. Gym wise, just chose the 4-day split out of Dad Rig 2.0. Full body. The aim of my training was to look after as much muscle as possible over the short time frame that I was dieting quite hard and maintain as much strength as I could within that. Now my training improved. I think a lot of the time you'll tell yourself that every time you diet you get weak, and it's more often than not that your training's just not set up very well, or that your diet sucks absolute balls and it's robbing you of a lot of energy, and then you're going into your gym sessions and you are losing muscle and you are losing strength because you've got your priorities a little bit wrong. If you want to know how to set your training up to maintain muscle and to build a body that you can feel well proud of coming into summer or just for life, go download Dad Rig 2.0, follow the training in there. There are a few different options training wise. I've gone with the full body because I don't like a full leg day currently. I want to be able to walk a little bit more the day after. I like to fit a run or two across my week. And personally, I've found a more of a full body approach to allow me to recover better. My knees and my hips feel better. My shoulders and elbows feel better, and ultimately my progress to fucking jump up 10 notches. From a lifestyle perspective, it works well for me. With the stuff I like to do outside of it, so like playing out with Max, going for runs, walking lots, it works well for me. Very heavily resistance training based, resting 2 to 3 minutes between sets, minimal supersets. I don't like to subscribe to this idea that your training should be fat loss focused. It shouldn't. If you just want to lose weight, sound. But most lads don't just want to lose weight. They want to lose as much fat as they can while they keep their arms filling the shirts, or while they see some tricep definition, or while the chest actually looks like they lift. That's where that extra level of confidence comes from. It's okay being confident in your clothes, but why not train in a way that will help you feel fucking brilliant out of them? Out of them, who with that? Why not train in a way that makes you feel stronger and not just tires you out? Here we go. Cheers. Do you know what? If you'd have spoke to me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and you said Pepsi Max or Diet Coke, I'd have been solid Diet Coke, bro. But Pepsi Max might be better than Diet Coke, I think. 21 days. That's how long I went at it. That's 21 days where I dealt with being really hungry at points, dealt with being tired at points, dealt with pushing my steps up from about a 12,000 average to a 14,000 plus average, in and around dad life, getting ready for an holiday, making sure all of my clients were well looked after before I went away. From a time and energy perspective, everything jumped up because I'll never just go on holiday and then be like, what will be will be. I am, because they have to know that they can live without me, right? And that there's a life where they can hold themselves accountable because they understand what that means for themselves. They understand the habits. When I'm on holiday, it's a good chance for them to practice that. However, that then is preceded by, like, I had one-to-one calls. Some of them, they had like 2 calls in a month, just so that I knew that they were comfortable. A lot of time put into the planning, the programming, goal setting, so that they were going into my holiday ready to rock. And I ended up here. See this? Went going on holiday, looking like this on holiday, very happy, very pleased with myself. This were about being leaner than maybe average levels of lean, because that's kind of my baseline isn't too far away from that anyway. But it was just about a little tidy up to feel a little bit better, to then preempt this next phase, pushing on and building a lot more lean muscle on top of it, to then get as lean as I can for photo shoot in November. But the nice thing was that it's helped us go away and be on beach and almost like excited to see me sending a video playing volleyball with Max afterwards, to be able to like run around, jump around on rocks, lob myself in sand and feel good doing it. That's what it's about, really, innit? And it's, I suppose, that kind of like them feelings that you get internally, the pride of looking out for yourself as well. Like, that's a big one for me. And I went from a high of 193 to 194 pound at start at diet, and then finished at week 3 floating between 181 and 183 pound. So a rough, like, let's call it like a 10 to 12 pound loss over 21 days. You can clearly see that it teed up good amount of fat loss over 3 weeks. And you'll get people, internet's gone soft. I'll say it, internet's gone soft. You'll get a lot of coaches that work with dads that will almost be afraid of saying, fucking push it, mate. Right? I would argue that it's usually coming from coaches that don't have the habits themselves in place to be able to manage appetite and energy levels or expectations when calories might be a little bit lower or when progress is a little bit quicker. But I tell you one thing, I know that most lads will get a little bit more of a chubby on when progress is a little bit quicker. Most lads can manage their appetite really fucking well without having to, not starving, but without having to be like, hey, start with the highest possible calorie intake you can. If you want a framework to follow that'll help you set your own targets, give you the training that'll help create that V-taper, which will help you maintain as much muscle as you can in 3 to 4 gym sessions a week, something that you can go away that's tangible to follow along, that you can believe in, that gives you some guidance on if the gym's busier or if your energy levels are low, because that's what happens within dad life. You still have to show up and get your shit done, otherwise the look in 4 weeks, which is how long Dad Rig 2.0 is programmed in for, but it's more a kickstart. It's meant to get you where you want to be in 4 weeks. It's meant to be a 4-week kickstart that'll push you on to get to the end of the diet, right? Don't half commit to something. Fully commit to getting there if you want to get in better shape. You just have to be willing to show up and do it. If you're not willing to show up and do something like this for free, you need to be looking at whether you need a coach or not to give you that extra support and accountability and to have that bigger buy-in from yourself. But if you want something that's free, this is going to be infinitely better than an app. It's going to be infinitely better than a PDF that you could get online, because it's tailored for dads like you, used by myself to do this to get in this kind of shape in just 3 weeks. Now, obviously for you guys, your start point, your end goal will be different to mine, but this is just an example of what the process is behind my results that will lead to similar outcomes for you, assuming that you're in this for long enough and you apply yourself properly to it. So within 21 days, I tidied up for my holiday, and now I'm in a much better position to go on and keep growing. And that's my next goal. JackedDad continues. Still teeing up shreddy. Don't forget that is, I've just noticed, undercrackers behind me. Good job. We're still tidying up post holiday. But shreddy will begin around about June, July, August time. I'm not certain yet, and that will be the last serious diet I plan on doing for a long time. If you guys have any questions about my 3-week Minicut, give me a shout. If you have any questions about Dad Rig 2.0, give me a shout. But make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed. Please drop me a comment below if you have anything to say about this, because I fucking love hearing from you. And do download Dad Rig 2.0. Give it a go. It's a plan for you to follow. You have nothing to lose. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.